Five developments that changed the face of computing. Number 5. Emacs. Small computers, programs were written using text editors, often WordStar, and then the program files were processed through compilers and linkers to produce a finished program. Emacs was, indeed still is, an editing system for the UNIX operating system and provided the first programming environment. The compiler and linker was still there, but the process was hidden. Essentially, the programmer always worked in Emacs. The program was edited, a single key press would compile and link it. Emacs can be configured to know about the format of different languages, keywords are shown in different colors, function parameters are shown automatically. It's changed how programmers program. Virtually all programming languages provide an environment now. But it started with Emacs. Emacs is one of the two main contenders in the traditional editor wars, the other being Vi, which is much better. Jfratter. Number 4. UNIX. UNIX shows the advantage of giving bright guys some time and money. Ken Thompson was the bright guy and he, essentially, developed the first version of UNIX, then called UNIX, to make a game run faster. UNIX had the advantage of CP/M that it could fairly easily be ported to different machines, but it wasn't particularly dependent on the hardware. CP/M needed a 8080/Z80 processor. UNIX can generally be run on anything from a phone to a supercomputer. This is because UNIX was essentially written in a high-level language, of which, more below. UNIX, and its modern derivative Linux, is a programmer's dream. It doesn't get in the way too much, has powerful editors, good compilers, is very adaptable and, probably most importantly, a worldwide community of fans and users. Apple's Mac OS X is based on UNIX, BSD to be exact, and most developments in modern computing, virtual desktops, virtual memory spring to mind, start on UNIX. Pictured above is the terminal on my Mac OS X machine, which gives you access to the underlying Unix system. Number 3. C programming language. C is the language of Unix. C was written by Dennis Ritchie in 1972. Pretty much the whole of Unix and applications that run on Unix are written in C, or C-derived languages, C# or C++. C is a small language and therefore easily learnt and easily ported to different operating systems. C compilers are usually written in C. Some of the key features of C are extendability, close coupling with the hardware, fairly strong variable typing and function pointers. These don't mean much unless you're a programmer. But essentially, they stop the language getting in the way of what the programmer is trying to achieve. The influence of C has spread with the influence of Unix. Most applications throughout Windows/Linux/Mac OS are written in C, C++ or C#. C has also influenced other computer languages. Visual Basic now looks very like C. Number 2. Smalltalk. Another programming language, Smalltalk was the first successful object-oriented language. Before Smalltalk, languages dealt largely with strings and numbers. Smalltalk allowed the programmer to describe all kinds of things, shapes, sounds, video, as objects. Imagine writing a drawing program before objects. If you want to draw a circle on the screen, you use a function for drawing circles. If you want to draw a square, you use a different function to draw a square. And so on for all the shapes. With object-oriented languages, you can use a single function to draw a shape, and tell it it's a square, circle and so on. It made application writing much easier. Smalltalk isn't used much nowadays. C++, C#, Visual Basic are far more common, but they are all object-oriented. A side effect of object orientation is that the executable applications became much bigger. It was with the introduction of objects, particularly C++, that applications started being delivered on multiple CDs. Number 1. Xerox Alto operating system. The single most influential operating system bar none. Are you using a graphical user interface, Windows, Mac OS X, and a mouse? Are you connected to a network? Are you used to WYSIWYG editing, like Ms. Word? Do you print to a laser printer? Is your computer doing more than one thing at once? All of these things originated at the Xerox PARC research facility under Alan Kay around 1973. Think about that year, 1973, 10 years before the Apple Lisa was released. As you can see from the list of features of Xerox Alto, it more or less defined modern computing. So why aren't we all using Xerox Alto, instead of Windows, Mac OS? In 1979, Xerox, in exchange for Apple stock, allowed some Apple engineers, including Steve Jobs, to visit Xerox PARC and look at the Alto workstation. There's a lesson here: if you invent a sensational, high-tech product, don't invite competitors to come and have a good look at it.